Pluto is back in the news. In April 2026, a 10-year-old girl wrote to NASA requesting NASA make Pluto a planet again, and NASA's administrator gave a direct reply. He said they were looking into it, but NASA cannot simply vote Pluto back into the solar system's official list of planets. That decision belongs to the International Astronomical Union, the same organization that reclassified Pluto as a dwarf planet in 2006. So the real question is not just whether Pluto can become a planet again, but whether our definition of a planet was ever big enough for Pluto. Pluto was discovered in 1930, and for decades it was taught as the ninth planet. It was small, distant, and mysterious, but it belonged to the solar system. Then, astronomers began finding more objects beyond Neptune, worlds like Eris, Makemake, and other icy bodies in the Kuiper Belt. Suddenly, Pluto did not look like a lonely final planet. It looked like the brightest member of a larger family. That forced astronomers to define planet more carefully. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union decided that a planet must do three things. It must orbit the Sun, it must be round under its own gravity, and it must clear the neighborhood around its orbit. Pluto passes the first two tests, but it fails the third. Pluto shares its region with many other icy bodies. It has not gravitationally cleared its path the way Earth or Jupiter have, and that single rule pushed Pluto into a new category, dwarf planet. Scientifically, that definition makes sense to many astronomers, but emotionally, it never really settled, because Pluto does not feel like a minor object. When New Horizons flew past Pluto in 2015, it revealed mountains of water ice, nitrogen glaciers, haze layers in a thin atmosphere, dark organic-rich regions, and a massive heart-shaped plain called Sputnik Planitia. This was not a dead rock at the edge of nowhere. It was a world with landscapes, weather-like processes, possible cryovolcanoes, and evidence that it may even hide a subsurface ocean beneath its frozen crust. And that is why the debate keeps returning. Pluto was not demoted because it was boring. Pluto was demoted because the solar system turned out to be more crowded, more complicated, and harder to classify than we expected. If you want to keep up with stories like this, where space news turns into a bigger question about our universe, consider liking and subscribing. Cosmic Perspective is still a small new channel, and your support genuinely helps it grow. The strangest part is that Pluto's own moon, Charon, makes the question even harder. Charon is so large compared to Pluto that the two bodies orbit a point in space outside Pluto itself. They are also tidally locked, meaning the same sides always face one another. In many ways, Pluto and Charon behave less like a normal planet and moon and more like a double world system. So when people argue about Pluto, they are really arguing about what the word planet should mean. Should it describe an object's orbit, its dominance, its geology, its complexity, its ability to feel like a real place? Maybe Pluto will never officially become the ninth planet again. The IAU has not changed its definition, and NASA alone cannot make that decision. But Pluto itself has not changed. Only our label did. It is still out there, beyond Neptune, moving slowly through the dark, with mountains of ice, a blue haze around its horizon, a strange moon locked beside it, and perhaps an ocean hidden beneath its crust. So maybe the real lesson is not that Pluto stopped being a planet. Maybe the lesson is that the solar system became too strange for our old words, and Pluto was the world that forced us to notice.